another crazy but true story. Back in, I'd say probably 87, 88, somewhere in there, a friend of mine and I decided we were going to go surfing. And Surfport said it was like 5 to 8 foot with an occasional 10-foot swell. So it was a big day. And back then we always surfed out at Sunset Cliffs, usually at South Garbage or occasionally North Garbage. So anyway, we head down there and get down there and wax our boards, and we start to paddle out. Well, my board was pretty buoyant. It was a lot longer than his board, so I was able to paddle a lot faster, and plus I was in pretty good shape back then, so yeah. So I get out there, and actually I used to sit in between the long boarders and the short boarders. You know, the long boarders sit pretty far on the outside because they got to paddle more to get into a wave, but it's actually easy for them to get into it, whereas short boarders, they can paddle pretty quick and pop right into it, but they have to sit closer to the break line. But anyway, I'd sit in between them, and I was looking back for my friend, and there were a bunch of dudes out that day. I'd say there's probably 20 or 30 dudes right there at South Garbage. And I'm scanning the crowd for my buddy to see if he had made it out yet. And I'm sitting there looking. I'd probably look for about 30 or 40 seconds when I notice everybody starts paddling. And I turn around, and as I turn around, here's this monster wave breaking out in the kelp beds. Now you're talking, that's probably 3, maybe 4 football fields out. Okay, it's a ways out there. So I start paddling, and instead of paddling straight out, I paddle kind of diagonally towards the channel. In between North and South Garbage, there's a fairly deep channel, and it's just less of a chance for a wave to break there. So I paddle that way to try to avoid having to push that super buoyant board through all that white water. Now this wave, a dude up on the cliff said he estimated that about 15 foot. I mean, it was a big damn wave. I turn around, even the longboarders were paddling out, so I'm paddling my ass off. I'm paddling, and I make it over the first swell, and as I make it over the first swell, because it reformed as it got in on the inside more, it reformed, and I come over the top of this wave, and here's a bunch of them, same size, just bigger and bigger. I'm paddling and paddling and paddling, paddling out straight out into the ocean, basically. And I finally get past this huge set of waves that are in. A couple of the longboarders were still out there. One guy tried to paddle in a wave. He had wiped out, and he was being drug underwater somewhere. But I make it out there, and I turn around and I look back, and all these guys that were behind me. And I'm telling you, there was probably about 20 guys that were behind me. They're all gone. All of them are gone. All of them got pushed all the way in the shore, or got swept in the shore, or whatever. So, and at this point, I'm probably only about 200 yards from the fucking kelp beds at this point. Maybe a little bit further, but I mean, I was close. I might as well have gone all the way out to the kelp beds. So I turn around and I start paddling back in, and I see all these guys start popping up on the shore as I'm paddling. I paddle in a little bit further and further, and I'm scanning the coastline there for my friend. I'm not seeing him anywhere, and finally make it in on the cliffs, and a couple of dudes had broke boards. I mean, this was a gnarly freaking set. I mean, people were hurt. And finally find my friend. He's okay. We decided to call it a day right there. So that was my story. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Later.